The cafe was nearly empty that rainy afternoon. Outside, a steady drizzle painted the windows with soft streaks of gray. Inside, the scent of old coffee lingered, and the only sounds were the ticking of a wall clock and the occasional scrape of a spoon against a saucer. Lena wiped down the counter for the third time, her hands aching from a double shift. At 27, life had never been kind to her. Her mother had died when she was young. Her father left shortly after. She had grown up bouncing between shelters and relatives, never really finding home. Now she lived in a tiny rented room above a grocery store and worked 6 days a week in this old cafe just to keep the lights on. She was used to loneliness. But what happened that day shook her in a way nothing else had. As she refilled the sugar containers, the soft chime of the front door rang. A little girl, maybe 6 or 7, stepped in quietly, completely alone. She wore a soaked pink hoodie and carried a small stuffed bear that was missing one eye. Her shoes were muddy, her eyes wide but heavy like she'd been crying. Lena's heart instantly ached. The girl sat at the corner booth, hugging her bear tightly, staring out the window, like she was waiting for someone. But minutes passed. No adult followed. No car pulled up. Lena watched her for a while. Finally, she walked over, knelt down beside her, and asked gently, "Sweetheart, are you okay?" The girl didn't answer at first. Her bottom lip trembled. Lena reached into her apron and pulled out a napkin. "Here," she smiled softly. "You look like you could use a friend." Still silent, the girl took the napkin and wiped her eyes. "I'm waiting for Daddy," she finally whispered. "But I think he forgot me." Lena sat beside her and said nothing for a moment. She just let the silence sit. She knew what that felt like, to wait for someone who might never come. After a moment, she asked, "Do you want something warm to drink?" The girl nodded faintly. Lena brought her a small cup of hot chocolate on the house, and a slice of pie she knew wouldn't sell by the end of the day anyway. The girl's hands were tiny, but she gripped the warm cup like it was life itself. "Thank you," she whispered. They sat like that for a long while. Lena didn't press her for details. She just stayed. She talked about her cat Muffin, about the time she fell off her bike and broke her tooth. She told her stories meant to make her smile. Slowly the girl relaxed. She even giggled at one point when Lena made a silly face. Then, just as Lena was about to ask for her name, the door burst open. A tall man stepped in drenched in rain, his coat clinging to him. He had the look of someone used to commanding a room, sharp suit, leather shoes, face drawn in panic. His eyes scanned the cafe wildly until they landed on the small figure in the corner booth. "Ellie!" he gasped, rushing forward. The girl jumped up and ran into his arms. "Daddy!" The man scooped her up and held her tightly, kissing her hair and cheeks, repeating, "I'm sorry," over and over. His voice cracked with emotion. Lena watched silently, unsure what to feel: relief, confusion, or worry. He finally set Ellie down and turned toward Lena. "Are you the one who stayed with her?" She nodded. "She came in alone." "I didn't want to leave her scared." His expression changed, grateful, overwhelmed. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't been here. I was stuck in traffic after a business emergency. My phone died. Her mother." He paused. "She passed away last year. Ellie's been struggling." Lena's heart sank again. "Please," he said, "let me repay you." She shook her head. "You don't need to do that. I just did what anyone would." He smiled faintly. "You don't know how rare people like you are." The man thanked her again, left his card, and walked out with Ellie, who turned back and waved as they disappeared into the rainy street. Lena returned to her counter. The moment felt surreal. She didn't expect anything more to come from it. Just a strange, emotional encounter with a lost girl and her father. But 2 days later, the cafe phone rang. It was the man. His name was Daniel Hart, CEO of a multinational investment firm, worth hundreds of millions. He hadn't stopped thinking about what happened. That weekend, he returned not as a customer, but as someone with an offer. He wanted Lena to come work for his company. "I don't need someone with degrees. I need someone with a heart." "You have that?" Lena hesitated. "I don't know anything about business." He smiled. "We'll teach you." What began as a simple job offer turned into something far more life-changing. Lena went from scraping tables to assisting in charitable outreach. Daniel helped her enroll in night school. She grew confident, brighter, more alive as years passed. She became not just an employee, but part of their lives. Ellie adored her. She was the only one who could calm her down when she had nightmares or days when grief resurfaced. Lena became like family. One day, Ellie gave Lena a bracelet made of beads that spelled out hero. She hugged her and said, "You're the one who saved me." Lena smiled, eyes glistening. "No, sweetheart, you saved me too." And so from a rainy day and a forgotten cup of hot chocolate, lives changed. Not because of wealth, not because of power, but because one woman chose kindness over convenience, because she saw a little girl, not a customer, because she stayed, and because of that, everything changed for all of them.